Avi Yemini from Rebel News Australia, who stood up to this government's ban on him entering this country and has crossed our border and is now, I think, in a relatively nice-looking... Is that a hotel in Auckland, Avi, or a backpackers?
It's actually... Good morning, Sean. It's a friend's house.
Oh, good on you.
But here I am. I have made it.
All right. Were you surprised? Were you surprised not to see jackboots and swastikas in the streets when you arrived in Auckland?
Am I surprised? A little bit, slightly, yes.
Yeah.
It's been nice here.
Okay.
I was surprised how easy it was to walk through immigration, Sean. When
You
I
didn't
jumped
get
on the
any
plane,
special treatment? You didn't get the old gloves put on or anything like that?
No, so we rocked up at the Qantas check-in counter in Australia, the same one where they turned me around last time.
Yeah.
And there was still a block on my passport. And I thought, oh, no, here we go again. Yeah. And it was funny because I handed my passport to the Qantas lady, the check-in counter girl, and she goes, I go, oh, you might have an issue. So I had my visa ready in my hand. She goes, oh, Australian passport? No, I won't have a problem. She goes, oh, wow, I've never seen this for an Australian passport. And so she's taken my visa. She had to call through to the immigration, whoever the connection there is in Qantas, and he said to her, hold on a minute, and he's just got to review the paper, whatever they call the files there on his end. And she's waiting for 5 minutes. She goes, oh, this is taking a little longer than normal. So she, in the meantime, she's explaining, it happens. There's a block when you come from certain countries and you need certain visas, but it usually takes a minute or whatever, and they just verify whether it's okay or not. 5 minutes later, she goes, he comes back on, gives her a code, all good. She says to me, he said, it took a little long. Sorry for taking a little longer than normal because there was a lot to read. But here we are. We've
coming in this end, no problems getting off the plane at Auckland.
Nah,
good to hear.
Nothing. I scanned my passport. I was expecting to do something, but nothing. Beautiful. Wearing my Kia Ora North Korea T-shirt. Not a problem.
Okay, you're here to promote the book, right?
Absolutely, the book.
Okay. Tell us about how that's going and where you are doing that if people want to meet you and get a book signed.
Absolutely. So Friday, rebelfromthestart.com, you can see the events there. There's still some tickets in both Auckland and Wellington. Auckland is Friday night from 7 to 10 p.m, Wellington at the same time on Saturday night. I'd love to see everybody. We've got also Ezra Levant here from Canada. Yeah. There'll be some Rukshan Fernando's also here, the Australian hero. I bring him along because most people love Rukshan. So he attracts more people than I do. Yeah. So I hope to see all your listeners there, and I know that your listeners have been following this story the whole time because whilst I can tell I don't agree with you on certain issues, especially when it comes to these anti-vaxxers that you call them. But you've certainly fought this fight from the beginning, and I thank you for that because, I remember that press conference you went to, and I don't think you realise, I think that the government knew that if they pushed through with the ban and they didn't approve the visa at the end, which would have given me grounds to go to court, I reckon your interview would have opened Jacinta Ardern up to cross-examination, which would have been interesting in itself. I would have loved to self-represent in that case, me against Jacinta. Just for that, it would have been worth it. But in all seriousness, I thank you and your listeners for standing by this matter, because no matter how you feel about me, it's bigger than me. It's about your democracy here, and it's about whether dissenting voices and opposing views are allowed in New Zealand. And what we've learned here now is that if you stand up to them, firstly, New Zealanders on a grassroots level will back you, but also if you stand up to them, you'll get in and you'll be able to do what you were set out to do in the beginning. Although it's not what I set out to do in the beginning. I want to thank the government and Jacinta for helping me promote the book here in New Zealand.